Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're taking a look at something you guys send over about college t-shirts.
Yeah, seems like a pretty simple topic at first glance, right?
You would think so, but trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye.
I'm intrigued.
So the source material jumps right into why college tees are such a staple on campus.
Makes sense. I mean, everyone's got one, right?
Exactly. It even claims that they're, quote, more than just clothing, end quote.
More than just clothing.
It goes on to say that they represent school pride and create a sense of belonging.
Interesting take. What do you think? Is it just marketing hype or is there something to that?
Well, that's what we're here to find out.
I'm ready to dive in.
Okay, so think about it. College is often a time when people are figuring out who they are, where they fit in.
Yeah, trying to find their people.
Right. And a college t-shirt can be a really visible way to signal, I belong here.
Makes you part of something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. A visual shorthand for a shared experience.
It's like a uniform.
Kind of like how sports fans wear jerseys to show their team spirit.
Oh yeah, good comparison.
But does wearing a specific shirt actually make you feel more connected to a group?
I think there's definitely a psychological component to it. Clothing can be a powerful symbol.
The tribe.
Exactly. Think about band t-shirts, for instance.
Oh yeah, you see those everywhere.
When you wear one, you're instantly signaling your taste in music and aligning yourself with other fans.
Right, it's a way to express your identity.
And connect with people who get you.
Now, what about the different styles of college tees? You know, the source mentions everything from classic logo tees to vintage designs to those oversized streetwear styles.
Oh yeah, the variety's pretty huge.
So do you think those different styles say something different about the person wearing them?
Absolutely. Even within this one category of clothing, there's so much room for self-expression.
So it's not just about fitting in.
No, it's also about standing out.
Expressing your individuality.
Exactly, and that's what makes fashion so interesting, this interplay between conformity and individuality.
I never thought about it like that.
It's this constant push and pull between fitting in and standing out.
Speaking of standing out, I couldn't help but notice this source keeps mentioning UsaBigSale content.
The shameless plug.
Right, it's pretty blatant, but I think it's interesting to consider what this tells us about how students shop these days.
Yeah, everything's online now.
When I was in college, you had to physically go to a store to buy a t-shirt. Now it's all just a click away.
It's a whole new world.
So how has that changed things, the rise of these online retailers?
Well, the retail landscape has changed dramatically. We're in the age of fast fashion now.
Where trends come and go so quickly.
Exactly. And online shopping has made it even easier to keep up with those trends.
Which makes me think about the whole vintage tee resurgence.
That's a fascinating one. Is it genuine nostalgia for a bygone era?
Or just another trend cycle?
Maybe a bit of both.
There's something undeniably cool about a worn-in, lived-in t-shirt.
It's like wearing a piece of history.
Right, but then there's the question of authenticity.
Is it really vintage if it was manufactured to look that way?
That's a good point. It's getting harder to tell what's truly vintage.
With the rise of fast fashion, it's easy to replicate those vintage details, even on brand new clothes.
So it makes you wonder what's really driving this trend.
Is it a genuine appreciation for the history and craftsmanship?
Or is it more about keeping up with the latest fashion?
It's probably a combination of factors. For some, it might be about nostalgia or expressing their unique style.
And for others, it might just be about following the trends.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got school spirit, self-expression, the evolution of retail, and now this whole question of nostalgia and authenticity. It's incredible how much we can unpack from something as simple as a college t-shirt.
It really highlights the power of clothing to hold meaning and tell stories.
We've covered a lot of ground already, but there's still so much more to explore.
Can't wait to see what else we uncover.
Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with more of this fascinating deep dive. It's kind of funny, right? Like a faded print or a distressed look can make a t-shirt seem cooler.
Oh, totally. Like the more beat up it is, the more character it has.
But does that kind of cheapen the idea of genuine vintage? You know, if anyone can just buy a shirt that's artificially distressed.
That's a good question. It really raises the issue of authenticity. What does vintage even mean anymore?
Right. Like, is it about the actual age of the garment or more about the style it represents?
I think for a lot of people, it's about capturing a certain feeling or aesthetic, not necessarily trying to fool anyone.
So it's not just about the clothes themselves.
It's about what they represent, the ideas and emotions tied to them.
Now, speaking of emotions, I noticed the source also mentioned athletic and performance tees, like those Drift ones.
Yeah, it seems like college t-shirts have gone beyond just casual wear.
Definitely. You see them for working out, playing sports, even just lounging around.
It reflects how diverse student life is.
So it's not just about ripping your school anymore. It's about showcasing your individual passions.
Exactly. Finding ways to express your unique identity while still being part of the larger community.
You know, it's interesting to think about how much thought goes into designing a college t-shirt these days.
Oh yeah. It's not as simple as it used to be.
It's like they're creating something that speaks to a specific audience, sends a message.
Designers have to consider every detail, the cut, the fabric, the color scheme, the graphics.
And with social media, those designs reach a way bigger audience than ever before.
Almost like college t-shirts have become a form of micro-branding.
Like a way for schools to promote their image and attract potential students.
Exactly. It's not just about school spirit anymore. It's about marketing and brand identity.
But is there a point where it becomes too much? Like, when does a t-shirt stop being about genuine school spirit and become just another marketing ploy?
That's a tough question, and I think a lot of schools are struggling with finding that balance.
Yeah. They want to appeal to students and generate revenue, but they also don't want to lose sight of their school's traditions and values.
It's a tricky line to walk.
This has been super interesting. We've barely scratched the surface of this whole college t-shirt thing.
There's so much more to uncover. It's amazing how something so seemingly simple can be so complex.
Well, we've still got more to cover, so let's dive back in. Wow, it's amazing how much there is to say about college t-shirts.
Right, who knew?
Definitely more than meets the eye.
They really are more than just clothes.
So much more.
It's been fun uncovering all these layers.
It has. So let's recap a bit. What have we learned today?
Okay, let's see. We talked about how college t-shirts can be a symbol of belonging.
Right, like they can show school pride.
And even help students find their place on campus.
Especially during that big transition to college life.
Exactly.
We also talked about all the different styles of t-shirts.
Oh yeah, from classic logos to vintage finds to modern streetwear.
It's amazing how much variety there is.
And how each style can say something different about the person wearing it.
Right.
Expressing their individual personality and interests.
And of course, we can't forget about online retail and fast fashion.
Yeah, the way we shop has changed so much.
And trends change even faster now.
It makes you think about those vintage tees again.
Are they a genuine thing or just a fad?
It's a question with no easy answers.
It really makes you think about fashion choices in general.
What drives them?
Is it about fitting in or standing out? Or a little bit of both?
Probably both of the above.
That's what makes fashion so fascinating, I guess.
It reflects who we are and who we want to be.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
But I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, shoot.
If you could design your own ideal college t-shirt, what would it look like? What message would it send?
Whoa, that's a big question.
It is. Makes you
Would
feel.
you be classic with your school's logo?
Maybe something more unique and personal?
Maybe a quote that inspires you?
Or a design that shows off your passions?
So many possibilities.
That's the beauty of it. A t-shirt is a blank canvas for self-expression.
Love that.
So what would your dream college tee look like? Think about it.
I will.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of college t-shirts.
It's been a blast.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep expressing yourselves.
See ya.